Right, let's jump straight into this explainer because we're looking at a genuinely fascinating experiment today. Imagine taking one of the most complex, politically charged legal cases in recent Chinese history and just feeding the raw legal documents into 6 of the world's top-tier AI models. We're talking ChatGPT, Copilot, DeepSeek, Gemini, Grok, and QN. We asked them to independently analyze the case of Dr. Chen Jingyuan, specifically looking at this really tricky collision between national law and internal Communist Party discipline, and the results they spit out acting as these totally impartial digital referees. Honestly, they were absolutely eye-opening.
So the whole thing really revolves around this one big paradox. Can internal political party rules actually be used to judge a regular, non-party citizen? You see, Dr. Chen Jingyuan is an independent scholar. He has literally never been a member of the Chinese Communist Party. But during his trial, he was severely scolded in court using internal party slogans and political frameworks. It raises this massive question about the boundaries of judicial power and how political ideology gets applied in civil courts.
To unpack this, we're going to hit 5 key areas today. First, the facts of the Chen Jingyuan case, then law versus party discipline, followed by ideological insults in court, whether national policies were betrayed, and finally, we'll look at the AI consensus.
All right, Section 1, the Chen Jingyuan case.
So here's the setup. Dr. Chen got slapped with a criminal charge for, and I quote, picking quarrels and provoking trouble. What did he actually do to get that? Basically, he was just forwarding content and sharing some academic viewpoints on Twitter. But what really caught the AI model's attention wasn't just the charge itself, it was how the trial actually went down. During the proceedings, court officials harshly reprimanded him, accusing him of eating the party's food and smashing the party's pot. And again, just to reiterate, he is not and has never been a party member.
Now, while in prison, Dr. Chen wrote a defense document, and man, he did not hold back. He formally leveled several severe accusations right back at the officials. He called out the ideological insults. He claimed they completely misapplied sentencing guidelines by using party discipline instead of actual civil law. He even went so far as to accuse them of acting as a, quote, judicial mafia. And paradoxically, he said they were betraying the very national policies and party ideals they claimed to be protecting. So we had all 6 AI models evaluate these specific claims impartially, based strictly on the provided legal and political texts.
Moving on to Section 2, law versus party discipline.
To really grasp what the AIs found, you have to understand the 2 separate pillars of the Chinese legal and political system, which Quen, Grok, and ChatGPT mapped out perfectly. On one side, you've got national law. This applies to all citizens, no exceptions. It establishes your baseline constitutional rights and standard legal procedures. On the flip side, you have party discipline. This is a separate, much stricter code of political and moral ethics, but it applies only to CCP members. So regular citizens are governed just by national law, while party members have to adhere to both. I love how ChatGPT framed the implications of this dual system. It noted, the power boundaries of party member law enforcement officers are stricter. Power must be weakened, regulated, and limited by party discipline. The takeaway here is crucial. If the court officials are party members, which, they are, their actions actually have to pass a much higher standard of political ethics. Party discipline is literally designed to constrain their power to ensure it serves the people, rather than oppressing ordinary citizens who are, again, only subject to national law.
Which brings us to Section 3, ideological insults in court.
Okay, so picture this. The courtroom transcripts show the judge actually yelled at Dr. Chen to just shut up. When DeepSeek processed that specific outburst against the official CCP disciplinary regulations, it did not mince words. It stated this is a typical manifestation of a rude attitude and a serious violation of mass discipline. So, according to the AI's reading of their own internal rules, treating a citizen like that isn't just bad manners, it actively destroys the required harmonious relationship between the party and the public.
And then you have Grok and Gemini chiming in on that phrase, eating the party's food and smashing the party's pot. They both flagged it as a severe misapplication of party rules when used against a non-member. Grok specifically pointed out that using internal political language to humiliate an independent citizen is just an inappropriate ideological attack. Basically, it violates procedural justice because you're dragging political loyalty tests into a civil criminal trial where, legally speaking, they simply don't belong.
Okay, let's look at Section 4, betraying national policies.
This part is super interesting. Gemini took these judicial actions and mapped them directly against China's big macro-level policies, and, well, it found some glaring contradictions. For instance, the state's goal of comprehensive law-based governance directly violated when you use party rules in a civil court. The foreign policy goal of building a community of common destiny completely contradicted when you criminally prosecute a citizen just for sharing foreign academic viewpoints. Even one country, two systems relies on a level of tolerance for ideological diversity that the AIs noted was just completely absent in this trial.
And that highlights this really fascinating political concept that both Copilot and Grok picked up on. It's called low-level red, high-level black. Essentially, it refers to officials feigning this extreme, almost over-the-top political loyalty in a way that practically damages the party's image and erodes public trust. So by using the excuse of protecting political reputations to bypass the actual law, the AI models concluded these officials were engaging in exactly this kind of counterproductive, performative behavior.
And finally, Section 5, the AI consensus.
So, what's the final verdict? Well, the results across the board are honestly pretty striking. We asked all 6 models 2 binary questions. Did the officials misapply party discipline? And did they violate procedural justice? Look at this. ChatGPT, yes and yes. Copilot, DeepSeek, Gemini, Grok, Qwen, yes and yes, straight down the line. Every single large language model independently reached the exact same conclusion. The law enforcement officers improperly applied internal party rules to a non-member, completely violating the basic legal principle that punishment must be prescribed by law, not political codes.
When you synthesize all this output, the message from these digital referees is crystal clear. Replacing national law with political discipline in a criminal trial isn't just some minor bureaucratic slip-up. It's a severe procedural violation. And ironically, the AIs noted that doing this actually damages judicial credibility, and it harms the very image of the party that the officials were claiming to protect in the first place.
So I want to leave you with this thought. What happens to legal trust when AI can clearly identify systemic contradictions that human operators either miss or, intentionally ignore? If 6 different language models can instantly detect the boundary violations between party rules and civil law with this much precision, what does that mean for the future of judicial accountability? It's a question that goes far beyond one single courtroom. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this helps clarify a truly complex intersection of law and politics.